Siamo qui a InfoSecurity 2025 con Corelight, con Matt Ellison di Corelight, e lui ci farà vedere, o anzi ci racconterà che cosa fa Corelight, che è una soluzione di Network Detection and Response NDR, che è adattissima ad ambienti enterprise ma ha una radice open source. Matt, we're here with you talking about Corelight, talking about this wonderful NDR solution, Network Detection and Response, that has open source origins. You want to tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, firstly, great to have you here, Fabrizio. Fantastic to have Dotforce with us, so thanks for coming over. So yeah, NDR, you know, it's great, a really expanding area, recently recognized by Gartner with their first Magic Quadrant.
First quadrant leader.
Yeah, delighted
Right.
to say, yeah,
Congratulations.
in the leaders quadrant. So yeah, that's really cool. So for those of you that don't know Corelight and maybe don't know NDR, it's actually been around a very long time. Originally, it was an open source tool called Zeek. Well, actually, it was called Bro originally. Yeah,
You're right.
and then it was renamed to Zeek. But that's been around for well over 20 years. And Corelight is the custodian of the Zeek open source software. So Bern, the founder of Bro, as it was then, he is still with Corelight. He runs the Corelight Labs team. So we still have that very rich history with the open source tool, but we exist as an organization to help more commercial organizations to get the most out of NDR and that network analysis. So effectively what we do is we look at your network traffic and we extract all kinds of useful information, effectively from the metadata within those network packets, and we put all of that together. And there's a number of different things we can do with it, but the most recent thing that we've added to our portfolio is a tool called Investigator. This is a SaaS-based solution where we take that data from the Corelight centers, it all goes up into the cloud, we analyze it, we use machine learning, and we give you all of the insights into that data. It's stored for 30 days, all within the cost of Investigator itself. And it's fantastic. So for SOC teams, especially for those that want to accelerate their journey towards threat hunting, where they're actively looking for attacks on their network, and they're maybe maturing a little bit beyond just the straightforward alerts coming in that they investigate. We do that as well, of course. Suricata is available as part of our solution, along with the Zeek scripting itself and the Zeek detections. So a number of different ways that you can make use of your network data and actually finding some of the threats that are in there.
Actually, to that point, what would you think is the best case for use of an NDR solution? What is the most benefit and what is it used for?
So, I mean, lots of our customers use it for different reasons. I think probably the biggest area that we're seeing the growth at the moment are those customers where they've realized that endpoint detection isn't enough and it just doesn't capture everything. I mean, there's always going to be devices on your network where you can't install an endpoint, and those are the devices that the attackers will get to first, especially if it's kind of Internet of Things hardware that often just isn't as robust. So that's a really strong use case at the moment, is customers wanting to understand what's on their network and what's talking to what. The other one is just that level of awareness, that level of maturity, that maybe they're not entirely sure what's in the network and what's there. So, you know, they've got good network analysis tools. They know if the network is starting to struggle or performance is dipping, but actually understanding the different types of objects and how they're communicating. A lot of customers come to us for that further level of information, and then to be able to enhance it with security analysis as well.
You were referring to a capturing feature, packet capturing, but I heard that you are smart in that, you're doing smart packet capturing. And that, if I didn't understand that wrong, helps analysts and everybody who's after the SOC to better focus on the packets and on the data that matters. Am I right?
You're absolutely right, Fabrizio, yeah. It's a really interesting approach because for most of our customers, once they get used to the richness of that Corelight data, PCAP actually becomes less relevant, because if you think about how most people use PCAP, it's to go in and look at that metadata. Because of course, 80-90% of network traffic is all encrypted, so you can't look at it anyway unless you are decrypting. So you're looking at the metadata, and Corelight already does that. But we acknowledge that, as you say, lots of customers, they need that packet capture, whether it's for compliance or whether it's just because that's how they like to work and that's what they're used to. But what we can actually do, and this, you're right, this is where we make it smart, is rather than just capturing everything, we effectively capture the packets when it's triggered by something. So you may trigger it on Suricata alerts, you may trigger it on unencrypted traffic, you may trigger it on a particular type of network traffic. So yeah, we have all of these triggers that you can set to allow for only capturing the packets that you're going to be interested in if something happens. We've seen customers that have gone from full packet capture and they've reduced their quantities down to 5, 10, 20%. So instead of only being able to store 1 or 2 days, they're storing weeks and months worth of data.
Yeah,
which is
but they
really
focus on the data that matters. Also because, if also I understand correctly, you can scan networks that are going up to 1, 10, 100 gig.
Yeah, absolutely. Bigger than that. Yeah, we have customers where we're scanning terabits of data per second. Corelight is, in theory, infinitely scalable. We have sensors that currently go to 100 gigabits per second each, and that's in a 1U unit. We have a new range of sensors coming out very soon that will go larger than that. We cater for very large customers, and you can use multiple sensors. We do have limits of tens of thousands of sensors that can be controlled centrally, but that would be a huge network.
Yeah, and still the solution applies also for smaller network. They go up to 1 gig, and even with the software sensors, they don't even need hardware, right?
Absolutely.
You just need fire up a virtual machine and off you go.
Yeah, exactly. Software, virtual, cloud, and physical. So we cover all of the different network data locations. Wherever you have data within your organization, we can capture it and analyze it for you.
All right then, Matt, thank you very much. It was very good pleasure to see you here and talk to you. And if you want to know more about Corelight and NDR, talk to Matt, talk to .Force. We're all here to tell you what's going on an NDR solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks. Bye. Cheers.